and we take care, the initiatives, everything that you see is around the leads most of the time. Because for us, if we take care of our leads, the leads will take care of everything else. For businesses to thrive in today's world, they need to have a proper marketing automation setup. The real estate brands have to start building trust. A lot of places in real estate, what is happening is the generation of leads is happening, but after generating the leads, they are ghosting the leads.
Hello and welcome back to Embrace Excellence. My name is Ananth and I am the National Director for Corporate Connections India. I have someone very interesting with me today. He was an engineer by education, worked across startups and MNCs until he found his true calling. I have with me Sharath Chandra from 3DM, a company known for its vibrant work culture and one of the most influential and result-oriented digital marketing agencies from Hyderabad. Thank you so much for joining us, Sharath.
Thanks, Ananth, for having me here today.
Sharath, you spent most of your college days gaming, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about. But that helped you. Somewhere along the way, you took the instincts of how you play a game, how you win at a game, to making performance marketing very effective. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. So definitely I feel nostalgic trying to recollect about these memories on how the gaming was during my college days. I studied in a residential college in Bangalore. I did my BTech there. And typically a residential college is full of the same age engineering grads. And we were extremely fancy about role play games that used to happen. Those are all strategy driven games. I used to play Counter-Strike and Dota, Defense of the Ancients. Again, they go very deep and I can talk about it for an hour at least. But to draw an inference from how gaming helped me to maybe, or it's still helping me today in driving the business or being there in the marketing field, or specifically in the performance marketing area, is on gaming helps you, helps you lose, and in every game you lose and you learn something.
Exactly. Yeah.
There is a lot of experimentation that happens because most of the games that we used to play, the two games that I said, we play with humans. I have never played games with bots or with the computer, right? So there is never a pattern. So when you're playing with humans, it's always, every game is new, right? So you try and identify different things, you try and strategize differently for every game when the map is still the same, or when the layout is still the same, but the approach to the same layout every time, every game is different, right?
No, it's interesting you say that, because now I can relate to what's happening, as in the sense that when you go into a game, you have a particular strategy, but at the same time, the other person also has a strategy.
Correct.
So you could relate that to how the market is functioning, right. The various dynamics that come into play, and you have your strategy and you have to change it.
Yes.
Because it is a dynamic environment.
It's a constant upgradation that needs to happen. You need to read the opposite person's mind. And typically, if you're trying to compare it to marketing space, you're trying to understand what the competitor is trying to do, what's the industry reading, or what is a target audience trying to understand, or what we should be presenting or narrating what story to the target audience. So everything is related. All the dots connect backwards, definitely. So definitely very fortunate and happy to say that I was addicted to gaming during my BTech days.
But did you realize that you were actually using principles of gaming into your work strategy?
Not really. Maybe that have become the basic instincts. I was also an outdoor games. I used to play cricket. I was a district player for Kho for Rangareddy district. So since the childhood, games have been an integral part of my upbringing. So maybe somewhere that comes up and shows up into the business, into different decisions that we take every day. Also in narrating a different story to people, understanding the target set at a deeper level. Maybe all of this are helping.
So does the strategy evolve when you set up a strategy for say a real estate company? You approach a client with a certain strategy, but more often than not, because you're experienced to a dynamic environment, your strategy seems to change as and when you go deeper into the entire performance marketing aspect of that project.
Right.
So, as the strategy changes, how difficult is it for your team to cope up to that strategy?
Right. So particularly to performance marketing space, there are multiple variables. There's never a cookie cutter model like this works for the entire industry. There's never something like that. Right. Everything changes for every client, every brand. Though let's say example of two real estate companies trying to start in the same location, trying to offer similar configurations. Still, one strategy works for one client, another strategy works for another client because of the endless variables that factor in here, right? So when we start training it to the team or the core, that when I was working at Google or at Net Elixir and all of these places, this is something that we learned when we were learning the entire tool and Google and the way of advertising on Meta. Right, so that is the same thing that we try and deliver it to our teams also, to make them understand the business first. So to have a lot of understanding of the business first, and then understanding of who is the target consumer, or to whom does it make more relevance, this particular ad, right? So identifying that is the core, and then you start doing a lot of experimentations. This experimentations has a cue from the past of what we've done with multiple clients that we've worked with. Something for some client might have worked. We try and draw an insight from there. Something for some client might not have worked. We again draw another insight from there of why it did not work, right? So we try and make another experiment with this learning, and that's how the market or the strategy gets evolved.
You've been in this for close to a decade, slightly over a decade now. And this is not what you wanted to do. Or was this something that you always wanted to get to? I mean, you had a very comfortable life. I mean, people would give an arm and a leg to work for a company like Google.
Right.
But you just didn't work there. At some point, you wanted to do something on your own.
Right.
But was that the plan always?
Not really. That was never the plan, because when we started 3DM, we were very young, definitely, because I was 26, my co-founder was 26. That's when we started this company. The only confidence that we had, we always wanted to start something on our own. That's always there inside. But the plan was not the one that I'm living right now, right? So we thought we'll start something. The max that might happen is, we might lose 1 year of appraisal, and we have good connections with our managers, so we can always go back. And we were confident about the skill that we have at that point of time. So that helped us take the extra step that was needed to start something. Touch wood, there was no looking back from then. We've grown, we've put in our blood and sweat into making this work, because not for anybody else, but for us to see ourselves, are we able to make it?
You guys just didn't make it. You are today, you've built one of the most vibrant work cultures, organizations that are there in the city today. You want to talk a little bit around that? Was that always something that you wanted to do? And did you get cues from other people in terms of how you should build your company?
No, definitely. I think work culture is always very important, because every day since last 10 years, never was a day when I felt I have to go back to office today. So we as founders, we always think this is the kind of feeling or the experience that we have to kind of give it to all the people who are working at 3DM. So what we try and do is definitely unlike the bigger corporates, because we know we are not corporate, right? So we cannot do what corporates do, or what we do corporates cannot do. So we wanted to play on the second part, what we do which corporates cannot do. So we take certain initiatives. So maybe to call out a few initiatives of what we do to build a better culture is, so on a weekly level, I do a lunch date with a leader. So there is a mail from the HR that goes out. A lead is selected, or generally the randomness that happens on selecting one, and a mail goes out to them. They'll get to select a place, their cuisine, what's their interest, etc., etc., and they fix up a place, and then we go out for a date. It's a proper date, and the number one rule of that date is we do not talk about work. Right, and that goes out for about 2.5 hours. With few people we go out for a drink, or with few we go out for tasting a maybe an Asian cuisine or something like that. But the conversations that happens then, which is apart from work, is what helps in making or forming a deeper connection with my leads. And
Absolutely. I think it's a brilliant opportunity even for your team to get to know you.
yes.
And while you are investing time in breaking down barriers between you and your lead, I think it's also a wonderful way where they get to understand you as a person, your vision. You're no longer in an office, you're no longer bound by certain rules or
Yes.
I think it's a brilliant thing. Can you tell us a little bit more around other initiatives that you have?
Maybe another one is again something that we formed inside. So we were growing over the period, right? 10 years we've had a wonderful growth, definitely as an agency, and there are people you will not believe there are leads inside the organization who are about to finish their 9 years with us. Right, so I would definitely take that with pride because they've believed in us, they've believed in the vision of 3DM, and they stuck to us, believing that they still have growth, they are growing with us. We were able to show a path to them. So I think
A career growth.
yes,
Yeah.
all this happened, and so what we have done is we have an initiative called GALF, GALF. So again, that's something that we just formed inside the organization. It's called Growth and Loyalty Fund. Right, and we do this for all the leads who have crossed 3 years with us, and this is one way of us giving back to them. And it's been about 4 years that we've already started this, and people are already enjoying the benefits of this fund. And there are cases when a couple of my leads have bought land, their investments happen through this. A couple of people have maybe they paid their kids entire year's tuition fee with this, right? And this is apart from the salary that they get. So this is exclusively on how we try and build wealth for them. So that's the initiative that we do. It's called GALF.
I think that's a brilliant idea where you're not just treating people as an employee or a team member, but then you're genuinely looking after their interests as well. So I'm assuming there's not much attrition at your company.
There is. So the industry has the highest attrition, and the agency has a higher attrition. But the belief system that we have is post-COVID. Again, there's a lot of realization that happened to us post-COVID. We understood our strengths better. We also understood how to manage it better, right? So there was a point when we used to panic if people are moving out of the organization. Typically happens to a lot of service
Yeah,
agencies.
the startups generally.
Right.
And then
So,
you're young and then...
yes,
Yeah.
the dependency is higher on the
Yes.
people and all of that. So during the COVID time, I think I would watch for all the leads who are working still with us. They are the ones who have been the extended arms and extended shoulders, lifting everything for us. And we have grown during the COVID time. And that growth, unlikely, like any other business, we've grown. We've grown at least by 30% during the COVID time. And this happened only because of the kind of commitment the leads have brought in. So this, in a way, has given us a lot more confidence that, and we take care, the initiatives, everything that you see is around the leads most of the time. Because for us, if we take care of our leads, the leads will take care of everything else. And it has been the case. They have made us come out of operations, which has been the dream. So we focus on to the business part. And that happened like very smoothly. Only because the leads have the commitment, they have the ownership, they show that. And we try and take care of whatever is needed. We think 2 steps ahead about the leads. So that's where, till that level is where we are trying to look at. And there are multiple initiatives that are defined, multiple career paths that are defined for the leads to kind of communicate to the front line.
I was reading about this where we had a conversation earlier on, and then I remember you mentioning up until COVID, it was a digital marketing agency. And with everything that you've said, it evolved into something else. And I personally feel it's one of the few businesses that not just sustained during COVID, and everybody was shutting down, but not just sustained during COVID, but it blew up. And when something like that happens, how do you deal with, you're switching gears, you're suddenly switching gears. You're used to working at a certain tempo, at a certain level for say 3-4 years, and you're comfortable. It's not like you're not, you're very comfortable. and then you suddenly switch gears and for something that you're not even prepared for. How did you handle the change?
So, firstly, there's a realization point that happened to us, right? Because till then, like you said, we were a plain vanilla digital marketing agency trying to offer everything to every client, every other industry. But during the COVID is when we understood what is the strength and what has retained the client for us. What did they see in us, which made them retain even in the tough time and pay us even in the tough time.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So this is a very clear picture that we have got, saying, oh, this is the strength that we have, and this is the strength that the client is valuing in us. And then we just thought we'll magnify this particular part, and then we started scaling that part. So that was pure performance. So we have extreme inclination towards numbers, analytics, performance, and results. And that is the one during the COVID time, because survival has become a major point for a lot of businesses. And since we were more result oriented, the client was like, okay, this is the best agency that I can latch on to, because they are also talking my language. They understand my problem. They understand my business problem. So this result oriented approach is something that we magnified a little more. And later we added a marketing automation segment because we understood for businesses to thrive in today's world, they need to have a proper marketing automation setup. So a lot of people, usually we are in a lead generation business. A lot of people think by doing effective marketing and doing good communication, if you're generating good leads, sales are bound to happen. But it's not, right? Because we are living in a world of Zeptos and Zomatos, where you are panicked if your order is not delayed, moving from this point to that point. So we are in that world, frankly, and that's the customer that we are talking to. And now look, imagine a 200 rupee order not moving from a point to point. You're making 5 calls to support and trying to, and you're getting panicked, versus a customer who's trying to make a decision to buy a 1.5 crore rupee dream home, which he will may or may not buy another one in future. What kind of a transparency and communication is needed for them to make a better decision? So this was an insight very clearly from the business that we've understood.
Was it a conscious decision for you to, I remember you mentioned a few minutes ago that you were dealing with anything and everything. Correct. But COVID made you migrate towards one particular industry. Was it during COVID that you decided to move towards real estate?
Yeah, so during COVID is when definitely real estate, not just real estate, but the core vertical focus is definitely real estate. 60% of our concentration right now is into real estate, but we have healthcare and education as the other two verticals. And we also work with some national brands like Paytm, L&T, and all the other ones. But typically, if you see, the reason why we selected these three is because we understood our attribution can be felt or seen by these three industries. For example, real estate can see at the end of the month how much sale has happened through the campaigns that we have run. And what's the revenue?
It's measurable.
Measurable, very clearly.
So that's a misconception. In a lot of times, in a lot of occasions, clients would say that the digital marketing efforts aren't quantifiable, right? You cannot actually say, this is how much we made out of this particular campaign. And that's been a very common misunderstanding that people have. But then the fact that you're able to say that's not the case and prove it with numbers is probably one of the reasons why you are one of the best at what you do today for that space. Your whole journey with the three pillars that you had mentioned, right? Healthcare, you had mentioned real estate. What's your favorite industry?
Real estate.
Lovely. How did you grow in the real estate space?
So going back in time, so we started off with one project about 8 years back. A client called Accurate Wind Chimes in Narsingi, right? So, and we happened to directly work with the promoter then, Mr. Mitesh Kulkarni.
Is that not the case usually?
No, now the teams evolved. There are marketing teams, sales teams, and all of that, right? And second, their teams work with our teams.
Got it.
Back so then, we were working directly.
Yeah, it's never
so the understanding was extremely direct.
Yeah.
So with the decision maker, we were understanding. I was doing campaigns back then. My partner was involved into communications and different other things, right? So we were taking a first-hand feedback. So the learning happened extremely deep because of that, because we were also extremely hungry to learn and execute something better And we've done something crazy during those times, which also got us multiple awards, right? Which I've also spoken multiple times. But that learning is something that has given us a lot more strength into that particular industry. And we started applying that in multiple variants, and the results that we were able to deliver to that industry, it's of high impact. So today, we are handling, very proud to say this, that we are handling about 56 active projects in Hyderabad and about 15 to 16 active projects of Bangalore. Again, only real estate vertical, but again, we do healthcare and education. The measurability is the whole factor that we want to bank on. And like I said, since we are BTech grads, engineering, we understand technology also. We have the analytics and attribution models better. Going back to what you mentioned, a lot of people think digital is not measurable, but with us it is extremely deep and insight driven. So we structure it in a way where you can see which ad, which keyword or which campaign has resulted in what kind of an output.
Sharath, you were mentioning 56 brands in Hyderabad, 16 in Bangalore. These guys spend a lot of money, generally as well, on advertising. But this kind of growth for digital marketing, and you're handling all these clients, I'm happy for you. But what's making all these guys come back to you?
I think the kind of depth, like I was mentioning, the core understanding of the whole industry is helping us, and we are overlapping it with the marketing and tech layer, right? For example, just to take a case on why they choose us or how do we differentiate in real estate space. So what we do typically is, apart from just building better communications and targeting better campaigns and driving these, we also do the entire funnel, right? So from communications to lead generation, from lead generation to nurturing to maybe they have multiple goals in between, which is a marketing qualified lead, a sales qualified lead, site visit schedule, site visit done, revisit done, negotiation happening, and closure. Usually this is the kind of pipeline. So we help set up the entire pipeline using technology.
And how many resources are dedicated to a client?
From our side, it's always a shared resource unless the client demands for it. But at least about 8 people from the team, 8 different skill sets have to come together to function and make this happen.
8 different skill sets.
8 different skill sets has to come together to make this happen. So this funnel and this marketing automation combined to creative communication and the campaign management, I think this is the whole mantra of why the brands are still stuck to us. So there's a definitely interesting point of what I would like to make. So a lot of brands who are working with us right now, the average tenure with them has been upwards of 3.5, 4 years. So
the engagement
time.
Right.
So we finished projects with them, we started new projects with them, we ideate on new projects with them. So the relationships are much stronger. The kind of newness that we try and bring it to them never made them feel that I would need another agency for executing the same task.
So have you ever had situations where somebody would look at one of your ads and say, you know what, we'd like to work with you? Or was it always a case of a word of mouth kind of a business where me as a builder refers you to another builder? Have there been cases of both? Or
the cases of both? Maybe I would like to recall a recent meeting about 2 days back that happened between, again, 2 big brands that we are working with, right? So we are working with Auro Realty for a very long time, and all the active projects of Auro Realty, and we do some real good work for them and very impactful. Now, Satwa is a brand that's again well known. So they have seen the kind of work that is being done for Auro. They reached out to us specifically showing this is the kind of work that we liked. And that entire thing, again, being channelized through us, we were extremely happy. Now we onboarded Satwa also.
Brilliant.
Right? So I think that's something that will give us more energy, more confidence on what we are trying to do, what newness that we are trying to bring in. We brought in something called CVAs. Again, converting video ads is something that we termed our own terminology, where we try and do a different experience and different communication through the ad to the public. And this started yielding better qualified leads at lower cost per leads.
Right.
And this now today, this we started about a year back. And what happens also with us is, because we are handling a portfolio of brands and portfolio of projects, if something works for us, we immediately start applying for multiple other projects also in different capacities with the respective variants. But this eventually becomes a market standard.
Correct.
And the market will start getting activated and they will start using the same thing. And we see this very clearly happening. An initiative being taken at the agency, applied to our clients, is being followed by every other real estate brand.
Yeah, it
being
becomes a
managed.
best practice.
Right. So definitely very happy to see things happening like that. A lot of people look up to what newness are we trying to bring in, and that keeps us extremely motivated.
Sharath, it's interesting that you're talking about all the things that you're starting and all the automation that's coming into play. There's a little bit of a new challenge that most industries are facing, and that's with AI coming into the picture. Do you embrace AI? Is that part of any of your initiatives, or has AI changed the way that digital marketing agencies are playing the game?
AI is definitely a disruptor to not just agencies, but to any service company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's anything that has a pattern is getting replaced with AI.
Yeah.
That's what is happening today,
Yeah.
right? And patterns is something that agencies form.
Correct.
That's what we were banking on, SOPs for everything,
Correct.
right? So, but good that AIs are coming in. We use AI in almost every vertical. We are extremely dependent on AI right now. So the only thing that we thought is, why should AI break performance marketing or an agency model? Why not agency model embrace AI and break something or create something new, right? So the whole focus to the entire leadership and to us right now for the next 1-2 years is on how do we bring in more efficiency using AI? How do we bring in and raise the quality bar using AI? Because a lot of things can happen today with AI if you use it well. Again, there are so many things in AI.
True.
Right. So now there's again a need for this in the market for a specific goal that you want to achieve. How do you want to achieve it through which AI offering? Right. So now we are reading this entire thing. So we are able to we use Perplexity for research.
Yeah.
We use ChatGPT and maybe Gemini for writing. Right. We use Midjourneys and Luma for videos and creation of imagery. Right. A lot of things are being used internally. We use a lot of AI tools for making our pitch decks. Previously, it used to take a lot of time, but now it's getting extremely instant. Right? A lot of connections are being made. We try and link our Google ad account to ChatGPT's, and then we ask ChatGPT to read my ad account and give me insight from there. Right? So imagine the kind of efficiency that can bring in. That
But
can
is
happen.
Is there some kind of fear amongst your clients in terms of dependency on AI? There is slight resistance to AI from traditional businesses, that I would say.
Correct. So the resistance is because of newness. I would see it like that.
True.
Because, for example, WhatsApp has
ignorance
and the way they got used to, right? So, for example, WhatsApp has been our chatting tool since a while, right? There are a lot better, much fancier options, chat apps that have come into the market, but we stuck to WhatsApp for only one reason, because of the familiarity.
Correct.
We don't want to learn something new for chatting.
Correct.
I don't want to click plus here instead of here and go to an emoji. I want to do it subconsciously, right? So this is the resistance that happens. So the same thing happens with the people also in-house inside the agency.
So you're talking about even in-house?
Even in-house.
Oh, that's
when we
interesting.
ask people, initially that used to happen about an year back, when you ask people to, start using AI and write it, people were resistant saying, AI is not giving the result. AI cannot do what a human can do. But today, the entire lineup is dependent on AI. Still, it is human intervention that is extremely needed.
Yeah.
But you kind of give a very valid input-based prompt to AI.
The ideation is still human, but the execution
now
is...
you are knowing how to use AI.
Correct.
So that's where we should be.
And your clients? Are they...
The clients are not, they're busy with their business, definitely. There's so much happening into their business also. So I think what might happen eventually is there are a lot of companies that are getting formed with AI, right? So they might start offering things at a easier pace. That can happen definitely. But again, at the end, what matters is experience. Experience clubbed with AI is something that will deliver results. At the end, the client is only concerned about
It
what
becomes
result.
another tool where you sharpen your
Yes.
product.
Yes.
So your output now versus pre-AI days, uh, faster, better,
We are at least
more
2x
consistent?
faster right now. We should have been 120 employees right now for what we are delivering, but we are stuck at 73, 74. The only reason being we are investing a lot more into building efficiency with AI. We subscribe to every tool that is there, every paid tool that is there, that is coming up, trying to offer something new through AI, which again comes and connects back to making our work much faster. So we have a small initiative-based team also in-house. We have consultants specifically for AI who are identifying these patterns inside the organization and trying to form an AI agent or an AI layer for it, which can help save that 2 hours of time and maybe get the same result in 2 minutes.
Sharath, for the amount of work that's been happening in the real estate industry, and I'd like to talk about the real estate industry. Uh, there's a lot of money that's being spent by real estate companies, whether it's around advertising, whether it's in construction cost, there is inventory that's available. And amazingly, you're in this position today where it's a very unique position because you are driving growth in sales for these companies. If I were to pick your brain and ask you if there's a growth hack that you can talk about for these real estate companies to actually be successful, do you have, is that something that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so maybe from the reading and the visibility that I have with working with the brands within our portfolio, there's definite learnings or maybe a patterns on what's working out. I can definitely share some. Now we all know there's about crores of rupees being spent on advertising and marketing into real estate, but the kind of outcomes are again getting limited with time, and that's also creating certain panic and anxiety into the markets. Right. So, but right now, what matters in real estate, particularly, or what's working out in real estate right now is uh, more than offers and tacticals. It was driven by offers and tacticals. The industry was driven by offers and tacticals. Somebody comes and says pre-EMI, somebody says 50-50, somebody pays 10% right now and rest later, I will pay you rent, a lot of things. But right now, what market needs is the real estate brands have to start building trust. They have to start focusing on how do they build trust. This trust, again, to build trust, there are again certain action items that needs to be done. For example, how much of educative content are they trying to do? How much of the promoter's mindset is coming out? How much of promoter's vision is coming out into the public? Today we are doing a podcast. We are almost coming across a podcast every other day. Right? We are consuming so much of information through podcasts. So that has become a habit to every individual. Right? So this trust formation is the core today. You form the trust because of so much of things that are happening with the geopolitical situation. This layer, whichever brands are focusing on building this particular layer efficiently, is inevitably the byproduct is have better sales that will happen. Right, and with definite marketing and everything else with better analytics.
Money is already being spent in all those other things.
So you just channelize it well, and you try and position better. You also take care. So again, what's happening? The trust again, like I was mentioning. You do these content. You bring out the promoter's vision into the public.
That's very interesting you say that, Sharath, because I don't think I have honestly seen any content around a founder or around the vision of the founder. And is that something that you think everyone should be doing?
Yes, so in every other capacity, everybody has a different thought of why they are coming into this space or why they are doing a specific project. But along with this thought has to come into the market. I mean, a recent case that we can definitely take into consideration is how Ajitesh has come into the market. He's gone into Rachamani, he's done barbershop, and then recent Broadway launch. We've seen that it's all promoted across Hyderabad, that 1,000 crores of revenue has been ticked by that thing. And ASBL is not a legacy old company, right? So they built that layer extremely well. They have done that communication well. So I would not say that's the only way. Like again, I'm saying there's no one cookie cutter model that works for everybody. But this is something that is needed. And second, a lot of places in real estate, what is happening is the generation of leads is happening, but after generating the leads, they are ghosting the leads, right? So they are not taking care of the leads well. So you
Correct.
need to nurture your customer better, and during the nurturing process is where the trust layer can be efficiently formed. So after the interest is when you communicate, the reception is better, and the trust can be extremely formed well. So I think that's for now can be a growth hack for
I think that's
2025.
amazing. I think it's a different perspective on a very, very traditional old form of business. What's next? What's 10 years from now for Sharath? What's 10 years from now for 3DM?
So after AI, we stopped thinking of 10 years durations. Now we started looking at a two-year
Right.
timelines because that's easier for us to see because there's so much that's happening. We don't know what will be the next big thing after AI again, right? There's so much that is happening. So with AI, like I said, focus is right now on building better efficiency, building better teams who are extremely smart, agile, having a wonderful culture where we all love to come every day, and the energy is maintained and we grow. So that's the whole focus.
So that I understand is for 3DM. But then what about Sharath?
Now, I think
Are you ticking off all the boxes that you want to tick off? Is there something that you still want to do, aspire to do, personally, professionally?
right. Personally, definitely, I'm recently blessed with a baby girl. It's been 6 months now, and I'm having the time of my life. I would definitely say because I know this is at the time that they are having movements almost every day. Right? So from the first roll to first crawling to speaking up, maybe making some sounds and all of that. So I think that I'm right now in a time where I'm trying to enjoy that time. And again, because the business is also helping me bifurcate that time and not taking me into, I'm able to spend that good quality time at home also right now.
Thank you so much, Sharath, for doing this. You've been an amazing member of the community, and I think your journey is inspiring. Your words of wisdom are definitely words of wisdom, and we look forward to doing this again very soon with you, and wishing you the very best of luck in everything.
Thank you
that
so
you do.
much, Ananth,
Thank
for
you.
today.
Thank you.